I'm going to dig deep and find out what's really stopping my sales team from scaling. And I challenge you to join me on this journey. The sales team is the most important part of any business, especially if you're selling high ticket services, programs, coaching, anything of that nature. Anything where you're doing a phone conversation over the phone and you're looking to take on clients in that fashion. A major obstacle that prevents sales teams from scaling really efficiently is the lack of proper training inside of the company. So when I go inside of a company and I look into their processes, which I'm doing right now inside of this series that we're watching, if you haven't already seen the first video about this series, we're taking a company from 200 to 500K a month in sales. Now, the biggest, most common issue is, number one, lack of systems and training. A couple of things that we need to identify when it comes to scaling your sales team is really, number one, does that sales team have the right training? So have they got a video course that they can watch? Have they got common objections that they can use to handle? Is there an actual script, number one, that they can read through and they can actually learn from? The next thing is there proper tracking in place for the sales team to actually see where they're at in terms of the leaderboard? If you're not tracking your own numbers right now, well, it's probably very difficult for you to grow and scale. Third thing that I'm seeing at the moment, it's really challenging inside of sales teams, is many people struggle with understanding calendar management. Now, calendar management is one of the most vital aspects of building any sales team. Inside of this company that I'm scaling at the moment, some of the challenges that I'm seeing are the fact that we've had 2 closers. One of the closers has left because they weren't getting enough volume. Right? Volume's a big issue, but the second closer, the problem with that is that they don't have enough coverage in their calendar based on the time zone that they're in. And the issue with that is the fact that we're accommodating for the closer's calendar and the closer's time when we should be having very, very open calendars, right? You want someone to come into your company and actually be there full-time closing for you with their calendar in the time zones that you work well in and best in throughout the whole day. So you've got full coverage. It's a little bit like if you go to Google and you're looking to find a hairdresser or barber, and you call up the local ones, and some of them actually say that they can't take you that day. They don't have any time. Come back tomorrow. But then you call up another place and they actually have the availability to speak with you and have that session, have you come in for a haircut. So it's the same thing here with the sales team. You need to make sure that their calendars are super open so that you can book them. Another challenge that I see is that sales calendars are going out way, way, way too far, right? They're going out a week, 2 weeks. You just don't want that. You want speed of response. It goes back to the same concept that I just said with the hairdresser, the barber. People want their haircut right now. It's the same thing in business. People want to get your solution very, very soon, especially in shorter sales cycle, high ticket sales, which we're focusing on today. It's really, really important that your calendars are short and they are open with a lot of space so that your setting team or your ads, whatever it is, they're being able to drive to those calendars that are open and be able to book. Something that really annoys me is the fact that the CEO and the business owners, they don't hold those boundaries tight enough inside of the company. And then they just let the closer kind of do whatever they want, have the time that they want. And that's actually a real problem for the business. Because when the business wants to scale, if they don't have that right system and infrastructure in place, then they can't scale. Because the CEO is going to have to come back in and do the closing, or someone else on the team is going to have to come in and do that, right? Instead of a dedicated closer being there. The next issue is that we have to constantly be hiring for that closing position. So you have at least some people on your back bench. Now, it's a very difficult and delicate balance because you need to make sure you've got enough lead flow to keep feeding your closer with opportunity. If you're not feeding your closer with opportunity, then they're going to leave, right? They're not going to make enough money and they're going to leave. Having come from a closing background, closing millions of dollars of deals in my career so far, I'm very motivated by closing more deals. So if I haven't got enough opportunity, a couple of things I can do. I can go and make my own opportunities by running social media campaigns myself, by reaching out to my warm network. I could also make opportunities by using the list of the offer that I'm working on, and I can go and work that list. I can call those leads. But if you've exhausted all those avenues, and the business owner isn't supplying with more leads, well then no doubt you're going to probably look at a different offer to go and work with someone who can supply you with more leads. Typically the biggest reason why closers leave. An inefficient sales process, this is what we're talking about in general, is a lot of wasted time, wasted energy, and many reps can be spending too much time either twiddling their thumbs, administrative tasks, and then letting their calendar kind of do whatever they want instead of what the business actually wants. Next thing is just poor communication through the team. So the best thing you can do for this, to make sure that you have a Slack channel set up with sales being the name of it. And at the end of the day, every sales closer comes in and actually writes an EOD of how that particular call went. Did it close? Did it not close? What they thought of that deal. And then the sales manager, sales director, they can come in, watch those calls, check them out, see why they didn't close, what they can improve on, and really keep working up and improving from there. So the communication aspect needs to be really on point with your team. And as a sales manager, as a director of that department, you really need to hold the team to the highest standard that you can possibly hold someone to. And that all starts with, and this is the next problem that we'll talk about here, is the team not having a very clear mission, vision, and then values that they can run by. Now, I'd really suggest that you run a team call every single day of the week to run through the vision, mission, and values of the company so that all the closers and everyone on the sales team are really aligned and we can start really driving towards that vision. And most people do not do that. Most people don't put in the time to do that, but that is what the company is built around, is that vision, that mission, and that values. And everyone needs to be brought into that kind of communication. Really, if we can overcome some of these barriers, we're going to achieve scalability within the team. I think a well-structured and very supportive environment with ongoing training, ongoing coaching, and implementing an efficient sales process, really ensuring that your reps have all the resources that they need, that they really need to succeed, is going to give you the best chance of success. It's about doing the little things right. And those things will make the closer feel confident and comfortable, and you can really drive an efficient sales team. So just recapping on the main points here, most important thing is to make sure that you do have adequate, high quality training inside of a portal that your team can watch. It's then having the correct tracking inside of the business so everyone can see where they're at. And then the third most important thing, just to summarize, there is a number of things we went through, but the third most important thing is to make sure the communication is on point. So your sales managers communicating with your sales team, your sales channel itself is being used all of the time, and you're holding everyone to the highest possible standard that you possibly can inside of the company. As I go on this journey with this project, this client of mine, I'm going to be bringing the insights back and sharing them with you here inside of this channel. And I'm going to obviously be using a lot of AI and implementing infrastructure in that way to show you how you can scale a sales team and a sales department. So long as the offer is strong and it's got a track record of doing well, and the CEO has a strong desire to grow the lead flow, then you can grow your sales and you can scale that sales team really effectively. And I'll be building out my systems and showing and sharing with you all of those things here on the channel. So if you're enjoying the content so far, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button below so I can keep making more of these videos. If you do have any other questions or any other comments, make sure to make those down in the comments below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.